Hey guys, what's going on? Can you guys hear me all right? How's the stream? Okay, cool. Good to hear. All right. So what's up, guys? We did it. Fucking 2,000 subscribers. Holy shit. I mean, I know that's small in comparison to the YouTube world, but that's pretty damn good for our own little community here. Cheers. Doing great, doing great. How you guys doing today? Staying out of trouble? Looking to get into it or already in? I do have car shirts, as a matter of fact. Biff Taylor. Yeah, I got some car shirts, hot rod stuff. Got some more stuff coming too. Thank you, Jacob. Not gonna do that. A gaming channel. You know, when I was younger, I used to play a lot of video games. I mean, I still got games, I just don't play them anymore. It's been a while. No cigar? I got a cigar. And yes, I'll be lighting it up. Hell yeah, raise some hell in your political government class, all that good government bullshit. You know, I'd like to be able to sit back and play some video games, but I'm always working, guys. I'm always working on something or editing, doing video, marketing, fucking creating new shirts, uploading new shirts, editing designs, drawing designs, coming up with new ideas, trying to progress everything forward. I don't really have a lot of time for games anymore. Maybe someday it'd be nice. I still got all my old game consoles and shit, and I used to do a lot of PC gaming as well. Hell yeah, looks like we got a really good turnout so far. Shit. We're only like just about 4 minutes in, already got like 45 people in here. It's cool. Fucking A. Exactly. Life's short, drive a hot rod. Why would greasers wear hats when they have awesome hair? We used to wear hats in cold weather and in rain. So, like when it was really cold out or whatever, we might put a hat on. If it rained, we'd put a hat on. We used to, as a matter of fact, most of the greasers that I, hung out with in school, we all used to wear soft hats at school. So, like your, proper fedoras and stuff like that, or pork pie hats. That's what we used to wear. I've never played Bully. I have watched it, but I've seen like gameplay. I don't know. I'd never really felt like I wanted to get into it. I didn't dig the art of the game, so to speak. So I never really was interested in playing it. I'd rather play Mafia 2. I had the original Mafia game. The original one, it was like 7 discs long. It was a PC game before it was like on PS2. I had it like when it first came out. That shit took like 2 hours to install. But it was a fucking great game. Not today, Sam. It's too hot for a leather jacket. I know there's greasers in the game Bully, but they didn't even look that proper. It looked like boarding school shit. Yeah, Mafia 2 was badass. I like that Spade Greaser. That's cool, man. And it's like I stated in the video last night. The more exposure you guys put out in your own communities, the more it gets people thinking and talking. They'll be like, "What's this? What's that?" You know. How long have I been a greaser? That's a good question. Long time. Figure I started in my 9th grade year. So I was like, what? I just turned 14. Yeah, I'd like just turned 14. I'm 28 now. There you go. No, I do not, Ponyboy Curtis. When did I start smoking? I don't remember. This is like my later teenage years. I know I was an adult because I could just go to the store and buy them by the time I started smoking. Do I play any instruments? Yes. Guitar, bass, and stand-up bass. Hey, what's up, Dave? Haven't seen you in a while, bud. How you doing? Yeah, it's got to be kind of tough, Biff. You know, that's the thing, man. If you guys want to get it to catch on, the best thing you guys can do is to let people see it, represent it every day, put things up, get people noticing it. People will notice for sure. Victoria, saddle shoes are 50s, so if they're calling them 70s, they are about 20 years too late. Hey, what's up, Pony Boy? That's right, Rock and Roll Joker. There's nothing wrong with being the only greaser around. It does get you noticed. It sets you apart from everybody else. Even though when I was in school, you know, I was around a lot of greasers. I went to a lot of parties and shit like that and hung out with a lot of friends that were all greasers or psychobillies or punk rockers. you know, there wasn't that many compared to all of the people, you know, like in LA County, there wasn't that many greasers. So it was still pretty kind of out there to see. It was different. Don't be nervous. Just go out and do your thing. That's the thing, cats. I know some of you are kind of like nervous to go out there and do it for the first time. Don't be nervous. It's attitude all the way. Strong, you know, head up, shoulders back, chest out, relax, and go. If people don't like it, they don't like it. Big fucking deal. You know? If somebody's like, oh, I don't like your hair, I don't like your jacket or your fucking style, I'm like, dude, I don't fucking like your existence on this earth. If you don't see me bitching about it. Yep, just be cool and calm. Yep. One of the best things you cats can learn because of the era that we're living in where everybody's so easily offended, everybody's so easily triggered, you know, everything's a bitch fit. Back in my era, when I was a lot of your guys' age, we didn't give a shit. It was the art of not giving a shit. We just enjoyed life. We just did what we wanted to do. And we didn't let anybody stop us from just living. You know what I mean? And we didn't concern ourselves with people that didn't really like us or didn't agree with what we said or did. We just did what we wanted to do. Nobody gave a shit. Yeah, let's keep it PC, guys. Let's be politically correct. Now, I know I got a lot of cats in here that are, you know, in their teenage years. A lot of you guys are in high school. Some of you are younger. Man, when we were in high school, there was nothing politically correct about us at all. Nothing. I mean, we were fucking brutal, and we didn't give a shit. And everybody was cool with it. Everybody understood the plot. You know what I mean? Everybody knew what was going on. That's an interesting one. Liberal greasers. I don't know if that even exists. Maybe. It really didn't when I was younger. Here's something you guys got to understand. From my era where I grew up, you know, in North Long Beach. I went to high school on the west side of Long Beach. Those are the ghettos. The only liberals that were in our school basically were the freaking liberal communist whatever teachers that were trying to pander to us and make us feel like we've been wronged or this, that, and the other. And oh, you guys are victims, you're victims, you're victims. And not one of us ever thought of ourselves as victims, because to think of yourself to be a victim was weak. You know what I mean? That was weak shit. So like for us, we didn't ever see ourselves as victims. We just did what we did. If we fucked up, that was our fault. You know, passing the buck is weak. Oh, I'm not where I want to be because of you or these people or that country or this or that. That's fucking weak. You know what I mean? And back in those days, you would never want to be considered weak. I know. You know what I mean? It's like there's different presidents throughout the years that I didn't particularly like. The last couple administrations I didn't like, and I didn't cry about them winning. I'm just like, well, shit, we'll see what happens. And I just went on with my life. I didn't give a shit. Tunnel Snakes rule. Yeah, I actually like the Tunnel Snakes. That's kind of cool. The Fallout series. I never played it, but I've seen the gameplay. It looks fucking fun. I have a Sailor Jerry Zippo. It's actually not a Zippo. It's actually made by Sailor Jerry. It's not a official Zippo, but it's a Zippo style. Yeah, don't be nervous. You know, just go do your thing. Don't be nervous. Just have fun. See, that's what it was. You know, that's what being a greaser is always about. Was about having fun. You know what I mean? Being wild and rebellious and having fun. Listening to music that makes you want to get up and jive and just be. It makes you happy. It just makes it like, wow, this is fucking cool. I dig this, man. It's got rhythm. I want to fucking. I want to be. You know. I want to bask in this fucking shit. You know. Yeah, that's true, rock and roll Joker. There's not a lot of there ain't a lot of grease chicks, or the ones that are still around. You don't hear from them. You don't ever hear about them. You know, like the girls I grew up with in high school. Now they were grease chicks. They weren't pinups. You know, they weren't like, oh, I'm gonna go do a pinup contest to win some money, or I'm gonna go do a photo shoot for a magazine, or any of that. They were proper grease chicks. They hung out with greasers. You know, they were the female equivalent of us guys, and they were not all fucking dolled up. I mean, very basic makeup, very basic clothes, you know, nothing out there. Wasn't cutesy and shit. Love the Stray Cats. I would ignore him, ride bleach. It's like, oh, you look like a gay biker. I'd be like, whatever. I really wouldn't take it into too much consideration. I wouldn't even waste my time. I'd be too busy listening to my music anyway. Yeah, I like the Dell Vikings, Dave Moore. No, Gary Smith. I do wish I had one, though. If I did, I'd probably get a Triumph. Yeah, you know, wearing the Confederate flag on a jacket, I mean, you know, the Confederate flag has always kind of been part of our style, you know, because a lot of the, you know, the old school rockabilly music came out of the South. See, this is the thing. The younger generations associate the rockabilly and greaser thing with the South because a lot of the music came from there. You know, a lot of your big artists, your recording artists came out of the South. And they weren't really trying to promote the South with a flag. It just happened to be part of the decor because, well, they're from the South. You know what I mean? So, of course, they're going to have the Southern flag. It's part of their history. And, you know, the generations that came after started associating the rebel flag with being a rebel. I get where that comes from. But it's like, I don't wear anything with a rebel flag on it because I'm not from the South. So to me, I have no business wearing a rebel flag or, you know, having one hanging up. So I can't really relate to it because I'm a street greaser, you know what I mean, from the West Coast. I'm not a Southern greaser. But I can understand why it's part of the culture. But sadly, because there's groups of people that are making a big fuss and a big stink about it, now it's become like a hate symbol, which is fucking retarded. I mean, there's a lot of people that fucking have rebel flags that are some of the nicest people in the world that would help anybody of any nationality. So to me, it's kind of ridiculous. It's more of like a homeland pride thing. Oh. Hey, what's up, Crush? Good to see you, bud. I don't live there anymore. I used to. Things have been good, Crush. How about for you, bud? Yeah, I've seen Grimm's Toy Show before. It's actually pretty funny. With his man, he's got a hell of a fucking room of wrestlers. Holy shit. Grimm's Toy Review is fun. He's always funny and obnoxious and doing over the top shit. I get it. I used to watch his stuff. As a matter of fact, what the reason? Let's go back in history here. How many of you remember why Grimm's Toy Review got famous? What was the first thing? What were the first videos he was doing? Let's see if any of you guys went back that far. Hell yeah, Madman for president. I'd run for president. My running slogan would be, "We couldn't do any worse." Right on, Crush. Cool, dude. So does anybody here remember the videos that Grimm was doing before he really got hardcore into the toy review? Jose, that's a good question. When I was in California, most of the greasers out there were Mexican. All of my friends were Mexican. That's who I hung out with. There were some white greasers. It just wasn't very well done. You didn't see a lot of it. You didn't start seeing the white greasers until you went to like your proper car club shows, rockabilly events and stuff like that, because they were more scattered out versus inner city. I was inner city, so there weren't really a whole lot of white kids where I lived anyway. I only had one friend. No, two. There was only two guys during my high school years that were greasers that were white, that were buddies of mine. But we all hung out with the Mexicans. Like we were all fucking friends. We were all brothers. We didn't see any difference. Okay, let me tell you something funny about Grimm. The reason I started watching Grimm, it wasn't even Grimm's Toy Review at the time. It was Silly Super Pop. I think it was his dad. It might have been his dad or his grandfather. That old man was fucking hilarious. Sadly, he died a couple of years, or a few years back, actually, more than that. It's been a while. But, man, that old man was fucking hilarious. I remember I just happened to stumble upon his Silly Super Pop thing, and I'm like, who the hell is this old guy? And I couldn't stop watching his shit because it was so funny. And then, of course, Super Pop, he had passed on, and Grimm, he had already had pretty good following by that point. He just continued on and brought more of his wrestling passion into his videos. So I thought that was cool. Oh, was it his grandpa? Yeah, I figured it was. Yes, his shit was fucking funny. I remember this one that Silly Super Pop did where he was doing a tossed salad. He was trying to make tossed salad, and he was tossing the shit all over the kitchen, and Grimm was like, "You don't make tossed salad by tossing it on the floor. You take it in the bowl, you mix it. It's called tossed salad. I want to do what I want to do, you asshole." He's like throwing tossed salad. That old man was crazy. I love those videos. Fucking hell. Did I used to play with cap guns? Fuck yeah, man. When I was a kid, I had all kinds of cap guns. I'm 28, Gary. There you go, Phantom Wolf. I'm an Irish greaser myself. Jerry helmets, the piss pot helmets. Yeah, I like the movie Grease. I like it okay. It's not my favorite greaser movie. It's just kind of a fun movie. It's all right. There's some stuff I like in it, but I don't particularly like all the dance and singing numbers. Right on, Jacob. Nice. Yep, greasers are greasy. Yeah, typically. Greetings from the USA, Alex. I would have. Hey, I used to play airsoft when I got out of high school. I remember that was like starting to become a big thing to do. And me and my buddies would go play airsoft. It was fun. Didn't have a Tommy gun though. However, I remember one time going to a carnival, and they had this stand where you win a prize if you can shoot the center out of a target. So they take this target and they put it down range, and then there was a Tommy gun, and it was attached, to like a CO2, big like CO2 canister. It had a hose attached to it, and it was fully automatic. It was a BB gun, and you had to shoot this. It's like the center of the star completely out of it, and you win a prize. And that was fucking fun to shoot. Holy shit. I like that, Danny Dane. That's pretty good. Oh yeah, there's always going to be some asshole out there that's going to tell you what you're wearing or how you wear your hair or whatever is oppressive or it's this, it's that, it's bad. And it's just made up bullshit. It's just fucking fantasyland shit, people like that are people that don't understand how the world actually works, and sadly, they probably never will. Exactly, rock and roll Joker. And that's the important thing. It's like we all share the same passion for the same kind of music, the same look, the same lifestyle, trying to get back to that old school rebellious, 1950s nature. And I think that's really cool. It's like we got everybody represented here. Oh, I'm sure she did, Danny Dane. Your teacher sounds like a fascist. Oh, you can't wear that because it's oppressive. Says who? You? I know a lot of people that wore leather jackets that didn't use that to suppress or abuse women. I knew a lot of guys that were actual complete gentlemen who wore jackets. They take their girl out and they were a gentleman. So, go figure. See, I'll explain something to you guys about class in school. A lot of you guys, what you're going through right now comes from my era. A lot of this liberal PC suppressive, bullshit started in my generation. It really started to take effect in my generation, and unfortunately, you guys are getting the full blown, dose of it. It had just started when I was in school. back in those days, they weren't, the liberals weren't brave enough to call you names or to try to suspend you or try to suppress you or your language or anything like that. They weren't quite powerful enough yet, and they couldn't get away with it. The schools wouldn't let them, treat kids like shit and try to brainwash them. But I remember they had their own little subtle techniques of trying to brainwash and manipulate. And me and my friends and all the guys I went to school with, guys and gals, we just didn't buy into the shit. You know what I mean? Because we couldn't relate. They couldn't relate to us. They would always try to like say all this, that, and the other. And it's like, dude, do you like not even get? Like, you live in a fucking nice neighborhood and drive a nice car and come here and tell us how we're oppressed. Okay, we know that we don't live in the best neighborhood. We know that things ain't exactly fair in the world, but it doesn't stop us from living our life. And what do you know about what we're going through every day? You don't walk these streets. You don't have the fucking fear of getting jumped walking through a neighborhood. You know what I mean? It's like, that's what we used to tell them. We're like, how the fuck are you relating to us? Just because you say that you feel our pain doesn't mean you actually feel it. How were my grades in high school like? Well, there was a lot of fantastics on my report card. Let's just say that. If you catch my drift. That's a good one, Dave. I like that. The one I always get, I still get it from time to time. The one I got the most was, "Oh, you look like Elvis." And this is the funny thing. I might be sporting like like an elephant's trunk or something like that, or like a style of hair, like a complete different style of hair that Elvis never sported. And I'll be like, "Oh, I do, huh? All right." And it's funny because it's like they're so ignorant they don't even realize that Elvis didn't have hair like I had. So it's ridiculous. They just associate Elvis with that era, and anyone that looks like they're from that era has to look like Elvis. I don't look anything like Elvis. Yes, I do, Gary. Best one around. I don't know about now. I mean, when I was in high school, the reason I didn't do very good is because I was rebelling against the system. I rebelled in high school. That was what I did. I don't recommend it for anybody else, but me and my friends rebelled. We weren't trying to do good in high school. We didn't give a shit. We just wanted to do what we wanted to do. If anything, school was just, a good place for us to act up. I played darts. Sure. I've played darts a few times. Oh, yeah, I always get the grease lightning one. Hey, that reminds me of a little story. This happened, I don't know, maybe like 4 months or so ago. It happened a while ago. Yeah, I remember it was a while back. And I was up at the gas station hanging out with a couple of friends of mine that, they kind of hang out there at night. We're up there, we're, standing by a wood box and we're smoking and just hanging out. And some fucking rowdy, like, fucking high school kids came in to get gas and fucking, Monster energy drinks or whatever the fuck, Red Bull. And when they were filling up on the gas, somebody, I guess, had spotted me and thought it would be cute to play Grease Lightning. So what I did is I kind of stepped down off the curb and just stood there right in the middle, like, of the lanes of the gas station, and I just looked at him and smoked my cigarette, just like this. Just gave him a cold, dead stare. That's all I did. And all of a sudden, they just turned it down and they ended up leaving. It was funny. Yeah, sadly, you have to do good in school nowadays in order to, well, no, actually you don't. But if you guys, let me explain something to you. There's a system at play, and the schools want you to, schools are an indoctrination center. They're there to teach you just enough to learn how to run the machines and do the paperwork of big companies, but just keep you dumb enough not to realize how badly you're getting fucked over on taxes, this, that, or the other. The best thing you can do is always think for yourself. Don't get trapped into this, gotta work for wages, gotta get a job. A job can help you accomplish your dream, but you guys should always have your own dreams. Maybe somebody wants to be an artist. Maybe somebody wants to build hot rods for a living. Not everybody wants to be a doctor or a lawyer or fucking spend 8 or 9 hours a day in some company typing on a computer or running automation for fucking factories. You know what I mean? It all depends on what you want to do. Whatever it is that you want to do for work or a career is what you should go for. I mean, if you wanna get into certain trades or professions, then you go to school for those trades or professions. But even better than that, if you can get time as an apprentice, you will learn so much as an apprentice. There's nothing like on-the-job training with somebody who's been doing it and is a master at their craft. And that's some of the best advice I can give you guys. If you guys, if there's people here that want to be a gunsmith, then learn from a gunsmith. Get involved. Meet people. If there's people that want to be, a car fabricator, start meeting people that do those things. Start reading. Start learning. Start, experimenting. Get involved with people who actually do those things, and you'd be surprised what you learn. If somebody yells at you, what's a good comeback? That always works. Or, and just keep up about your day. And it also depends on what they yell. I would say so, Gary. Superbad was okay. I seen it, but it didn't stand out in my mind. Yeah, exactly. Hey, here's something also good for you. This applies to guys, gals, and all of you, okay? One of the best courses you can take in school is home economics, home ec. I took home ec when I was in 7th grade. One of the best classes I ever took. I learned how to sew. I learned how to cook. I learned about different chemicals and cleaners and what not to mix and why not to mix them. I learned how to bake. I learned how to, do all kinds of shit in home economics. I learned a lot of shit. And that's why I've always been very self-sufficient, and I can do anything. I can do anything for myself. I don't need to have someone to cook for me. I don't need to have someone to sew a button on my shirt. I can do it myself. When I was in high school and we used to sew up our jeans, I didn't need anyone to sew them up for me. I could do it myself. I knew how to actually stitch properly. So if you guys have the opportunity to take home ec, take it. Not kidding. The more self-sufficient you can be, the more you can do, the better off you'll be. What's the best comeback if someone threatens you? Like if they threaten to hit you, like to knock you out or something like that. Yeah, we used to sew with dental floss. We used to sew with dental floss and then carpet thread because it was really strong. That's old school as shit. That's old school as shit right there. Okay, if someone threatens to like knock you out, to hit you or whatever like that, be calm, be cool, get up, look them eye to eye. You don't have to get in their face and do all this. Some of the best threats are quiet and just very precise. Here's one that you guys can all take with you right now. Someone comes up to me, they're like, oh, I'm going to knock you out, I'm going to hit you or whatever. It's like, oh, you're going to fucking knock me out, huh? Well, you better take your best shot, because if I get up off this floor, I eat you alive. Come on, go for it. And then just wait to see what they're going to do. Put the ball in their court, cats. It's like, you guys are going to hit me? All right. Make it your best shot, because if I get up, I eat you. How should you fight? Because you have no idea. All right. I'll give you a quick rundown course, a very basic thing to always remember. First off, if you've got to fight, keep your chin down. You look with your eyes, lead with your forehead. Your hands should always be covering your jawline, your face. None of this fucking haymaker windmill shit. You're going to go straight punches like in boxing, uppercuts, and hooks. Think Mike Tyson. You're going to bob, you're going to weave, you're going to keep your head keep your head, forehead forward, keep your chin down. Because if somebody hits you, they're looking to hit you on the chin to make your brain shake, against your skull and knock you out. They can't hit your chin, they're going to have a hard time fucking knocking you out. And if they hit your forehead, they're going to probably bust their hand. So keep it forward, fucking punch, you can throw elbows, you know what I mean? You can fucking eye gouge, you can, fucking headbutt, you can kick to the groin, kick to the knees, knee strikes, fucking throw them down, put them in a fucking tie clinch, roll them to the ground, elbows, pummel, whatever you want to do. Yes, I've been in a few fights. Not a whole lot, but I've been in a few. I also did a lot of sparring because I was a martial arts instructor, so I guess if you want to count those as fights, then yeah. I've done a lot of those too. Yeah, that's the funny thing. The bell in school. We had the same shit in class. They say, the bell doesn't dismiss you, I dismiss you. Then I'm like, we're all like, what the fuck's the bell for then? The bell means we got to go to our next class. We don't have time for you to sit here and fucking be little Napoleon. This is my class and I'm a dictator and the bell doesn't dismiss you, I dismiss you. It's like, yeah, well, go tell my fucking math teacher that and see what he tells you. When I'm fucking late because your dumbass wants to have a fucking power trip because you're not done talking because you couldn't get through your lesson in time, well, go tell my math teacher why I'm late. And if you're gonna, Dave, if you're gonna throw a roundhouse kick, I wouldn't consider going anything above the ribs. go to the legs or go to the ribs. If you're flexible enough and you know you can pull a head kick off at any time, then go for the head. But I'd say go ribs, go legs for sure. Oh, and remember, when you're in a street fight, there's no such thing as rules or honor. There is no such thing as honor in a street fight. You do whatever you got to do to win. And especially if you got multiple cats trying to fucking knock your block off, you do whatever the fuck you got to do to survive. Don't let anybody tell you, oh, it's just fist, just fist. There ain't no such thing. Because as soon as you listen to people say, oh, you just throw fist, you just throw fist, as soon as you start listening to that, someone's going to kick you in the fucking nuts, and you're not going to be like, I thought we were just fighting with fists. Oh, well, hey, fucking I lied. Get over it. The spade greaser, you're 14, you're 5'3". I mean, yeah, that's short, but hey, I knew short people that could really fucking get down and could really fight. A lot of people are actually worried about fighting short people because a lot of times short people will come out and surprise you. Man, again, you just got to be calm, you got to be cool, look people in the eye, and don't be afraid. If you get fucked up, you get fucked up. But there's always another day. You know what I'm saying? Who is the prissy rich guy that possessed me in the last live stream? Oh, you mean Wolfgang Pennyworth the Third Esquire? Just one of my stupid daft characters I made up. Yeah, you're right. The Fonz was short. Yeah, Hendrik Winkler's a short dude. All right, see you later, Outsiders fan. Hang loose and be safe. Oh, dude, going with the PBR for sure. Hey, check out the fucking art. Check out the art on the PBR cans. You gotta love this shit. This is some rebel shit right here. I love that. This reminds me of my fucking youth. Shit's badass. Steel Reserve. I still drink that from time to time. I know you're a little on the short side, Rock and Roll Joker. It's all good. And me, I'm 6 foot barefoot, but when I wear boots, I can be anywhere. Depending on the boot, can be anywhere to 6'1" to maybe 6'2" is pushing it, depending on how much of a sole is on the boot. But usually rest around 6 foot to 6'1". Probably my most favorite car would be the 49 Merc, or the 1950 Merc as well. I really dig the 32, 33, 34 Model A coupes, even the Model Ts. When I was in high school, I used to really dig the 57 Chevy Bel Air, but not as much anymore. I kind of got away from that whole tail fin look. That was just kind of like, because I was young, I was impressionable in high school, and that's like what I knew. But I kind of go more for like the bombs, like the old school bombs and shit. Like, some of the 30s and 40s stuff I really dig. Yeah, I mean, like when I was like, 15, 16, I was already 6 foot. I'd pretty much peaked out in my, high school years. Dave Moore, I feel like you've been watching Ownage Pranks a little bit too much there, pal. I really dig the 55 Bel Air. I really dig that one. Not really, Spade Greaser. I'm usually too busy working on my shit to watch anything else going on, unless somebody sends me a video or it's somebody that I'm kind of close to, and they say, "Hey, check this video out. I just did something on this. I'll go watch it. You know, give it a like, maybe leave a comment or something." But for the most part, I'm usually watching. When I watch stuff on YouTube, I watch some stuff for entertainment value or things that I don't know about. I mean, I already know about the greaser lifestyle, the whole rockabilly greaser culture. So there's really no channel I need to watch to learn anything about it. I mean, I lived it, for God's sake. I usually watch a lot of documentaries. I like to watch a lot of interviews. I like to watch news stuff. I like to watch prank videos. I like to watch game videos. I like to watch stuff that entertains me, or stuff that I can learn something from. Yeah, Rock and Roll Joker, I would love to see that. Speaking of the 2020 prophecy, we got to talk about the prophecy here, because I mentioned that we would. Matter of fact, I think maybe it's time to smoke a cigar. Favorite food? I love Mexican food. That's got to be some of my most favorite. But when it comes to like just typical everyday food, I love cheeseburgers, hot dogs, pizza, stuff like that. French fries, onion rings. But when I'm on diet, I can't really have that stuff. But I still try to treat myself every once in a while. I had to use my switchblade because I can't find my fucking cigar cutter. I don't know where I put it. That's a bad cut, but it'll be all right. That's a really bad cut. Oh, very more lighten. I already answered that. I don't play many video games much anymore. I used to do it a lot. I'd like to eventually. Yeah, some cigars are better than others. You just it's like an acquired taste. Mine just has a little fucking little fucking thing you just push down on, spring assisted. All right, so let's get back to the 2020 prophecy. Now, as I discussed in the other video, the one that, last night, I'm sure a lot of you saw, prophecies are built on ideologies. They're built on things that are supposed to happen. But as we know in life, not everything just happens just to happen. Some things are meant to happen. But I also believe that it's also built on the people themselves that want it to happen to take steps to make it happen. So we have to find a way to start getting the rockabilly scene more well known. See, that's the thing too. That's interesting you bring that up. There's a lot of kids that want to become greasers, but they don't want to respect the music. They don't even like the music. You can't be a greaser and not like rockabilly music, or old school rock and roll, or doo-wop, or even new school rockabilly or psychobilly. There's like, you know what I mean? It's part of the culture. I mean, you have to at least like the base stuff. Old doo-wop, old 50s standards, old rock and roll. It's a must. And if you don't, then you're not a greaser. To just dress like one, it's like saying, I'm a punk rocker, but I don't dress like a punk rock. Or I dress like a punk rocker, but I don't listen to the music. I like to listen to fucking, Dashboard Confessionals. What's the point? Exactly. Who can't like the music? It's great. It's better than all the shit we got nowadays, on the radio and shit like that. The stuff nowadays, it's not even music. You know what I mean? It's like, they're not even, like, okay, take for instance, I don't remember who the fuck did it. I don't remember who the fuck the artist was. The Work, Work, Work song. It's like, wag, 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 wag. Like, they're fucking babbling. There's no meat and potatoes to it. It's like, what are you trying to tell us? I almost feel like they're just, whoever the fuck sang it is like on some dope shit, fucking trying to brainwash young people to just work and keep their heads down and never try to raise for their dreams. That's what it almost feels like to me, but I could be wrong. Yes, Elvis and Chuck Berry count as greaser music. That's pretty much what a lot of greasers listen to. They still do. You're right. Computers nowadays are doing most of the work. Most of the talent out there can't even sing. They can't carry a tune. I mean, hell, I don't sing because I can't carry a tune. So, you know what I mean? Here's the thing. You can listen to other kinds of music, like, metal, punk rock, shit like that. I mean, I still listen to a lot of stuff. I even listen to a lot of 80s and shit like that. But you have to have a love for the old school greaser music, the old rockabilly, the old rock and roll doo-wop. It's a must. I mean, if you're going to be part of an era, and dress like you're from a certain era and be a part of that community, you have to dig the music. If you don't, what are you doing it for, Yeah, I do too, Gary. I like the Indiana Jones. That was a good movie. CCR is not really greaser music. CCR is rock and roll. It was like, the 60s, 70s rock and roll, Vietnam era rock. the rockabilly revival started coming towards the mid to late 70s. So like after the Vietnam era is when you really started to see, that the rockabilly revival. I like CCR, don't get me wrong, but it's not technically greaser music because greasers weren't listening to CCR because they were pretty much greasers at that point were probably in Vietnam fighting, and they weren't greasers anymore. They had evolved and just kind of went on with the times. I think I've heard Pearl Jam's Last Kiss. I have. Murray's is probably one of your cheapest ponies that you're going to get. Yeah, dude, I hate new age country. I cannot listen to that shit. I like the old school country. I mean, one of my favorite like old country songs is, you guys heard He's in the Jailhouse Now, right? I love that fucking song. That's a great song. That's a song I could sit back. Man, I could sit back on a fucking old school wooden porch, smoke a cigar, and drink a beer and listen to that. God damn. Oh, anyway, let me. I'm getting a little off track here. All right, the 2020 prophecy. I'm going to come up with a sticker that's affordable for everybody that you guys can buy however many you want to buy of them and start slapping them on shit. Because I'm going to get some of them myself. I'm going to get some of these stickers and start slapping them up in my area and seeing if I can't get this community where I live a little bit more involved as well. I figure, man, if we start putting them on fucking, telephone poles, fucking, walls, bars, clubs, things like that, just any place you can get it seen, it'll start to influence people, because some people probably don't even know what the hell rockabilly is or greasers are. They have no idea. Good question, Jonathan. When I was filtering out of high school, so like in my senior year, the ska invasion came in, and a lot of cats really started getting into ska. I never really liked ska. I never got down with it. When I was in my heyday in high school, it was like rockabilly, psychobilly, punk rock, metal. There, like ska wasn't even a thing. Like it existed, but we never listened to it. I never liked it. I always thought it just really didn't fit. But I mean, you listen to whatever you want to listen to. Oh yeah, Johnny Cash is definitely greaser music, man. That's interesting, Biff. There was a 50 style diner. 50 styles McDonald's in California that I used to go to when I was in high school. A little bit, a little bit golden cucumber. And of course, I grew up with Sublime, but not all of their stuff is ska. A lot of it was kind of punk rock as well, and more of that. It had more of that. What do you call it? Reggae thing going with it. Sublime was more reggae than anything else, but they kind of played around with stuff a little bit. Seed was an interesting song because that was like a mix of you know, like reggae and punk rock, which I thought was kind of cool. It was a little out there. What's to watch, Pony Boy? What's to watch? Yeah, American Crew is like the most expensive shit you can get. Man, I see that stuff in the store all the time. It's like 17, 18, $19. That's a fucking sin. That's not even real grease or pomade. That's no. Not even close. None of the cats I grew up with ever used American Crew. We didn't have Axe or Old Spice pomades. Those didn't even exist in our era. I mean, I don't use that kind of stuff. I use more the old school traditional stuff. I love the Honky Tonk Man. Honky Tonk Man is great. Great wrestler. Very funny. Very gimmicky. But I love his shoot interviews, man. He doesn't fucking hold his tongue on anybody. He does some proper shoot interviews. Those are great. I played all the GTAs, all the old school ones. The only one I haven't played was 5. 16 with a Harley, huh? Well, that's pretty out there. Well, here's the thing: if someone kicked over your Harley and damaged it, then you need to sue whoever the fuck kicked it over, because that's property damage. And if the school doesn't back you up on it, and sue them too, because it happened on their property. I like San Andreas for the fact that it had a lot of. First off, I could relate to San Andreas because I grew up, in a San Andreas basically area in the early 90s. So I could relate to a lot of like the music, the look, the feel of it. But I always like Vice City, man. Vice City was fucking cool. Matter of fact, I just bought some more Brill Cream yesterday. Sneakers, PF Flyers, Chuck Taylors, kids. Definitely the way to go. Great sneakers. You wear those when you got to go run. You know you're going to get yourself into some shit. You wear those so you can bolt if you have to. My very first GTA game was GTA 3, and then I went back and played GTA 2, GTA 1, GTA London 1969. Those were like the old original ones on PlayStation. But where I first got exposed to Grand Theft Auto was Grand Theft Auto 3, and then Vice City came out, then San Andreas. I had Liberty City Stories, Vice City Stories, GTA 4. I just never got GTA 5. Yes, I do, Frank. A cheap alternative to engineer boots. Sadly, when it comes to shoes these days, there's not a whole lot of cheap options out there. I mean, hell, even like your traditional Chuck Taylors are like 50, 60 bucks. I mean, I used to get mine for like 30 bucks when I was in high school. You could go with more of like a lace-up work shoe. I don't know if guys know what I'm talking about. More like a lug sole, like lace-up work shoe that like factory workers would wear or something like that. You go with something like that won't run you too much. It might run you, 30, 40, 50 bucks depending where you go. You could Of course, always go with loafers, even though they're very out of style. You don't really see greasers wear them anymore. I actually had a couple pair when I was in high school and would wear them from time to time. You could go with loafers, like a cheap pair of those. You could go with a cheap pair of just lace-up dress shoes. You could go with, your saddlebag shoes, your saddle shoes, if you can find a, cheap pair. You could also go with, like go with some slip-ons if you like the blue and white, or the black and brown. A lot of us cats used to wear those as well. It just depends on it. I mean, you go with also lace-up boots, like hobnail lace-up boots, or Doc Martens. A lot of cats wore Doc Martens as well, but those were pretty expensive. It just depends, man. You just have to look around and see what you can find for a good deal. But I always definitely go with the engineer boots. And cowboy boots you can wear too. I have a couple pair. No, Green Day is not greaser music. Green Day is not even really punk rock. I mean, it's prep punk rock. I like Green Day, don't get me wrong. I like some of their songs, but I would never class it as like hardcore old school punk rock, and it sure as hell ain't greaser music. No, not at this point I don't, Gary. I used to have pets. I used to have dogs. Caterpillar work boots, not really. Oh shit. Perfect. Just messed up my jeans. the ash. The ash finally fell. God damn. But here's a couple of things that we can do to start getting this style more recognized. All of you cats that got shirts, make sure you wear them. Because people notice artwork on shirts. They go, "Oh, hey, that's different. I've never seen that before." Shirts are big. Start slapping stickers on stuff. Anybody who asks about being a greaser, or like, "Oh yeah, what are you like? Your hair is crazy," or like, "What kind of music do you listen to?" It's like, tell them about the old rock and roll. Tell them about the old rockabilly. Show them some of these videos about greaser history. I mean, you guys got to figure. Check this out. If it weren't for like the original greaser era, you wouldn't have people that wear leather jackets, just regular leather jackets, or people who wear jeans as everyday clothing and attire, t-shirts. In the 50s, that was not common streetwear to wear jeans and t-shirts and leather jackets. I mean, that would get you pinned as a hood. I mean, that was very rebellious for its time. Most people wore, slacks, regular dress shoes, a sport coat, maybe a shirt and tie, more of the proper gentleman's attire. You didn't see a lot of, that greaser look, or even, the t-shirts or the jeans. You'd see like dock workers and people that lived in, the rougher areas that had, like the trade jobs and stuff would wear those kind of clothes. So it was like considered almost like it's like a low class thing. But I mean, look at everybody around the world now. Everybody wears like t-shirts and fucking jeans and whatever. Biff, you'd have to go on the Teespring, check out the link where all my shirts are, and see if it supports the Netherlands. Yeah, I've designed a few tattoos for people. So yeah, if you have a tattoo design idea, let me know. We can work on something here. That depends on the design and, how long it takes me to do it. But, I always keep everything pretty reasonable. I don't charge a shitload of money to do designs for people at all. Where did I get the nickname Madman? I always get this question at least one time. I got the nickname of Madman because of my intensity. Friends that see like my intensity, they're like, "Damn, you're like a fucking madman, dude." It's like anybody that knows me really, really well knows how much effort and intensity I put into everything I do. It's like there's some people that know me that have literally watched me draw 3 or 4 fucking pictures in one sitting and just still crazed to do something else and do more things. Sunshine was my old school nickname from high school. That's interesting. Gary, yes. Sunshine was my original nickname in high school. All my buddies used to call me Sunshine. You're right, Biff. I think all greasers should work together. But of course, you're going to get people within the communities that you don't particularly like, and that happens with every community. There's always going to be people that you don't particularly get on with. So, that happens. Now, I've talked about why my nickname was Sunshine in videos and some of my other live streams. Who remembers why I got the nickname Sunshine when I was in high school? What differs a great fitting leather jacket to a bad one? Your jacket should never really go past your belt line. It should rest just about at your belt line or maybe just slightly at the top. You don't want a jacket that just drapes all over you. You want a jacket that actually fits you. You want to make sure that your deltoid, where your traps end and your deltoid begins, you want that seam line to fit right across here. You want to also make sure that you have just enough room, but not to where it's too tight, on the chest line as well. And then, of course, depending on the jacket you get, you always want to make sure that the waistline is tapered in. Lord of Grease, TV. Yeah. Wet the whistle. Yes, that's partly because I was pale. All my friends were Mexican for the most part. So to them, I was like a sunshine. The sun would hit my skin. It was like fluorescent, That because I also had the blue eyes. And I remember somebody was like, "Oh, he looks like Sunshine from Remember the Titans." So that's kind of how I got it. I was like the only like Irish Mexican greaser, you know what I mean? Like they were like my brothers, all the guys I grew up with that were like my friends and stuff. Man, those guys are brothers to me. They still are. Even though I haven't seen some of them in many years, I still talk to a lot of my guys from back home. Yeah, man, Dave, don't let people make you feel bad for being autistic. Autistic people can do some amazing things. Just saying. You're right, Gary. Sometimes greasers don't work together. Sadly, but they don't. But I think they should. We're all in it together. So, let me ask you, cats. I want to get a quick idea from you. If I make a sticker for this 2020 prophecy, what do you think, what kind of artwork should I put on the sticker and what should it read? I want your guys' input. Help me design it since, it's up to us to spearhead this and make it happen. No one else is going to fucking do it, so we might as well, right? The old generation, they're living off old glory, Some of these cats from like the 2000s, these older car clubs, all they're interested in doing is going to a rockabilly meetup and talking about their car. And, they're not really trying to progress anything. They're just happy to just live within the confines of the style, like the lifestyle. But they're not really trying to progress anything.
if we want this to be more well known and we want the younger generation to respect it and understand it and to become part of, we've got to take the initiative to make it happen. So what should we design? Did I smoke weed as a kid or as a teenager? Never smoked weed. I hung out with a lot of people that did, but I never tried it, never wanted to. That's not the greaser way. Fuck yeah, I'm still friends with Big Bird and High Cuffs. Those are two of my best friends from back home. DeVito, High Cuffs, Big Bird, all them guys, man. If I was back home right now, we'd be partying. We'd be going out to the bars, we'd be having barbecues and kickbacks. Fuck. Be just like old times. I could maybe do something like that, Biff. It'd be interesting. Okay, I like that. 2020 Rockabilly Revival. Yeah. Hashtag it. Yes. Yes. And we'll start hashtagging it on social media. The Switchblades and the Combs? Yeah, we could do something like that. Blades, broads, and hot rods. I like that. Will I make a new shirt in the future? Dude, I'm always making new shirts. I make new shirts like every week. I still got a ton of shit in the queue that I haven't uploaded yet. I mean, I've got even stuff that isn't so much greaser stuff that I'm going to be doing for shirts. Because I know a lot of you cats that watch this channel are not even just greasers. So I kind of want to do a little something for everyone. Okay, so we've come to an agreement of hashtag 2020 Rockabilly Revival. I think that's perfect. Now we just got to get a good idea of what to put as a logo on it. All right, apocalypse scum. Later, cat. Hang loose and be safe, man. Go tear shit up. Okay, so I'm starting to get like this kind of like group of greasers idea. Kind of have an idea. I remember doing some artwork when I was younger, when I was in high school, where I do like groups of, you know, greasers and stuff. So I might be able to do something like that. Maybe I do like a group of greasers with some kind of like hot rod in the background. And then, you know, hashtag 2020 Rockabilly Revival. I think we got something here. I think we got something here, guys. I think so. I think we got something for sure. Yeah, hey, if you like to draw, you guys, if you want to draw me, go for it, man. I've gotten fan art before. I love fan art. So if any of you cats are, you know, artists and you guys want to draw the Madman or something and you want to send it to me or whatever, please do. Send it to me. You know, I started my Twitter again. I'm you know, active back on Twitter. So you can send me a, you know, private message there or upload something and tag me in it. You can also message me personally on my Facebook fan page. All those are in the descriptions below on all my videos. If you don't follow my Instagram, go follow me there. I can't receive your messages on Instagram, so if you've messaged me on Instagram recently and I haven't responded, I'm not able to open my messages because of the app, and they updated it and changed the whole fucking thing. Here's the thing: if you guys want to do fan art of me in my end of the month video, where I shout cats out, the ones that get stickers and shirts and stuff like that, I will put your pictures up as well because I love fan art. Because when I was in high school, man, I used to do fan art. So hey, I get it. I love that shit. I'll always try to help aspiring young artists for sure. I think it's a great thing to get into. It's very healthy. It's very positive. But and remember, cats, any of you guys that got shirts or stickers, send me a picture holding your sticker with your shirt on or whatever, and I'm going to be shouting you guys out at the end of the month. I'm trying to make sure that I do that as much as I can. I'd like to make some patches. I don't know yet. I think that'll be coming in the future. Maybe in the near future. We'll see what I can do. Hell yeah, Danny Dane. That'd be cool as shit, man. I love lowriders. I grew up with a lot of lowriders. A lot of the clubs and stuff like that. I really like lowriders. I think they're cool as shit. That in itself is a old school subculture, especially it's a Southern California thing for sure. Big time. That stuff goes all the way back to the really old days, like in the 60s and the 70s and stuff like that. I love those old school lowriders. The bubble noise in the background, I wouldn't know. I don't have a bubble machine. I listen to all kinds of stuff, man. I like to listen like old school, big band, swing, old school country, rockabilly, 50s rock and roll, 60s rock and roll, even into like the 70s. I love the 80s. And even some like modern stuff. I love metal, punk rock. I would like to do a Madman's Maniacs events. What I'm hoping to do eventually, cats, is hopefully maybe within the next year or two, I would love to start hitting up all the big, rockabilly conventions like Viva, in Las Vegas, of course, Goodwood in the UK. I'd like to start hitting up some of these, bigger, rockabilly events, have a booth, have some couches, have some beers, have barbecue going, have music playing, have t-shirt stickers, whatever. And you guys can come hang out. That's what I would really, really like. It's not like, oh, come by, come to my booth, buy a t-shirt or something. It's not even going to be like that. It's like, come hang out with me. We're going to have some couches. We'll have barbecue going. I'd like to do this really big time inclusive thing and just have a meetup in a meetup, basically. I think that'd be cool as shit. I never had PlayStation, but I've had, no, I never had Xbox. Always had PlayStation. I was always a PC gamer for the most part, and of course I'd play my PS2 and my PS3. But I never got into like Xbox. Never liked it. I've played Xbox, I just never got into it. But you know, it's up to us, cats. I mean, no one else is going to help spearhead this. So it's got to be up to us. The maniacs, we're going to be strong. You know, a lot of you cats are going to be graduating high school very soon. You guys are going to start having jobs and money to go to shows and make some of these big shows. And we're going to do this. We're all going to build this together. And, you know, when 2020 comes along and as these newer cats keep, you know, integrating into this lifestyle, we got to be there to show them right and to make this happen. And we can do it. You know, again, prophecy is built off of the backs that are willing to work at it and make it happen. You know, it's like we can wish all we want. We could pray for it. We could, you know, wish upon a magic lamp and all that kind of stuff. But at the end of the day, once you've put the intention out there, it's up to us to build it. You know what I mean? And I'm going to be working like hell to make it happen. I'm going to try to include as many as I can to get this thing going, try to put it out there, try to get people interested in this old school, rebellious, just kick-ass fucking lifestyle. We're going to make it happen, one way or another. That was a bad puff. Wait a minute. There we go. All right. So, the madman has greaser shit to go do today for the rest of my day. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to wrap up this live stream. I really enjoyed hanging out with you, cats and kittens. I'm glad to have met some of you that I haven't met before in the past live streams. You guys rock. It's you guys that help make this happen. And the more you guys get involved, the bigger I can get, the bigger my voice gets. And just in general, we get bigger. And we will make this happen. I guarantee it. So, as always, if you don't know, get a clue, get a brew, and get a fucking rock and roll tattoo. Hang loose and be safe, cats. The madman is out. Keep up the good fight, greasers.